Hi, I'm Joan Sensen, the Executive Director of Conquer Myasthenia Gravis. I'd like to welcome you today to our presentation called MG and Exercise. Our two presenters have a lot of experience and are passionate about helping individuals who have illnesses like MG. JRowin is a medical doctor. She's board certified in neurology, neuromuscular medicine, integrative medicine, and acupuncture. JHossack is a certified personal trainer, nutrition coach, and Pilates instructor. In a few minutes, you'll see a demonstration of specific exercises, and I hope you'll join us to the extent you're able. First, you'll want to gather a few things, and that would be a pencil and paper to keep track of which exercises you can accomplish and how many. You'll also want a chair and enough floor space that's clear so that you can stand and move. With that, let's get started.
Thank you, Joan. It's really great to be here, and I love this topic. It's so exciting for the MG community that we're all starting to really talk about exercise now. For a long time, I think the message was, it's most important to conserve energy, take it slow, and because else it might exacerbate your weakness or fatigue. But in this webinar, we want to move a little bit away from that because exercise is so important and it can benefit myasthenia. I mean, it's good for the immune system, it combats fatigue, it's good for gut health, microbiome health, it improves mental clarity, sleep, and mood. It can counteract a lot of the side effects. If you're on prednisone, it can help with weight, blood pressure, and blood sugar control. Of course, we want to be careful if you're in an exacerbation. If you have shortness of breath or swallowing difficulties with any exertion, now is not the time to start an exercise routine. Or if you think your myasthenia is getting worse, now is not the time. If you're in doubt, talk to your neurologist. However, it's been my experience that the majority of myasthenics with treatment become stable. And although there's normal fluctuations with myasthenia and every day is different, if your MG is stable, exercise is part of the recovery process. People with MG want to get moving again, but there is some fears and concerns that exercise is going to make the fatigue and weakness worse.
Julie, to kind of build on the topic that you brought up, exercise really is something that you do every day. You may not think of it this way, guys, but every time that you sit up to get out of bed, that's basically working your abs. Every time that you stand up to get up and down out of a chair, you're using your quads. So movement that you do in your normal everyday life really is exercise. All that I hope to help you to discover today is that if you put some structure around those movements and have some goals built in, that you can slowly progress. You can add more activity into your life. Some pieces might be too challenging, might not be challenging enough, but please stick with it. Try to stick with it as much as you can from beginning to end. And then I really want to hear from you afterwards so that I can help you to kind of adjust this program or this type of program so that it's something that works for you, for your body, and it's something that you can stick with. And finally, just if you would for me, please try to find something with this workout that you're proud of, something that you're happy about, something that you either feel or that you could do. It could even be, hey, I'm here today. I'm proud of that. I'm taking a step. But whatever it is, again, keep track of that. I want to hear it. I really do want to hear from you, and I want to hear, how you're feeling about going forward. So with that, I think we're probably ready to start.
Hi, my name is JHossack, and I'm a certified personal trainer. The purpose of today's video is to demonstrate a program that will introduce you to some very basic exercises to help improve your strength, your flexibility, and your balance. The length of the video is about 20 minutes, give or take, and the intended audience is for somebody who's new to exercise or that's kind of coming back from exercise after a break or an illness, or that is just kind of looking for where to get started. So, are you ready? I'm going to go through a few things that are going to help you to be successful before we begin. First of all, I want you to be honest with yourself. Really be, gracious to your body. If you're not really feeling it today or this week, that's okay. But also, honesty goes both ways. If you are feeling good and like you're in a great place to begin an exercise program or just feeling particularly strong, then go ahead and do the work. Be honest. Secondly, be accountable. Whenever you're starting an exercise program, you need to make sure that you put it on your calendar just as you would a job. Taking care of your body is a big responsibility, and you do have control. You can designate certain days of the week as your workout days. Make sure that you have a plan for those days and that you hold yourself accountable to them. Finally, set goals. The intention of an exercise program is not just to be repetitive, repeat what you did the last day, but to show progress. So set a goal for today, set a goal for the week, set a goal for the month. You want to focus on today, see how many reps you can do and which exercises you can accomplish, and then set as a goal over time to either increase the repetitions that you do or add some resistance. Our goal today is going to be to get through about 10 repetitions of each exercise, but maybe next week you want to try for 12 or 15 or maybe 20. Maybe you go through the program twice. In any case, just set something that's appropriate for you and your body and continue to make progress as you go forward. All right, and finally, the last thing that's really going to help you to be successful with any exercise program is to understand your reason. What's that underlying reason, guys? It can't be because you flipped on this video today and I'm telling you to do this. It can't be because your doctor said, I think you should start an exercise program. You need to figure out what's in it for you. Why are you here? Is it to keep up with kids or grandkids? Do you have some kind of a hobby that you like to do? Do you just feel like you need more strength in your activities of daily living? Do you need a little bit more stamina to get through what you want to do? In any case, this should be something that's unique to you and important to you, something that'll drive you to continue, because repetition, just like, it takes a lot of grains of sand on a beach before you start to see that pile rise. Repetition is what's going to help to make progress. All right, you ready to go? Let's do this thing. So we're going to start with a little warm-up. Then we're going to do some standing exercises. We've got some things to do as in seated, and then some things on the ground. Let's begin with a brief warm-up. We're going to start just by marching in place. I'm going to count to 16. We're going to do a couple other things. Then we're going to repeat this warm-up sequence 3 times. Let's go in 3, 2, and 1. Take it into a march for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stop your feet. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Hands on your thighs. Hinge forward. Stand back up. Now twist, center, twist. Let's march again. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. That's it for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Big breath in. Big breath out. Hands on thighs. Bring it forward. Bring it up. Rotate. And rotate. Last time through. Let's go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Again for 8, 6, 5, 4, 3. Still those feet. Breathe. And exhale. And hinge. And stand. Let's rotate, center, rotate, center, and smile. We're about to get going. All right. First exercise is a push-up. For real, I said push-up. We're going to begin with a modification. First modification could be that you use the wall as your exercise platform. You just begin by putting your hands on the wall, shoulder width apart, keeping your body in a straight line. Abdominal muscles are engaged and strong. And then you just lower yourself toward the wall and push up. I'm going to use a platform that's slightly lower. This is an option for you as well. You could come down to a kitchen counter. You could come down to the back of your couch. You could use the front of the couch, the seat cushions, or progression would be all the way to the floor. So go ahead and take your pick, figure out where you want to do these push-ups, and let's begin. Bring your hands to the platform. Engage that core. Draw your shoulders down your back. Squeeze your butt muscles, squeeze your thighs. Keep your body flat. And now let's just lower with control and push up. Lower with control and push up. Today our goal is to get through 10. Again, you're setting your own goals here. So if you cannot get to 10, you either change the exercise by changing the platform that you're lowering to, or you change the repetition. Make note of how many you get, and then progress. Let's go one more. All right, fantastic. Exercise 1 complete. All right, for our second exercise, we're going to work on balance. Begin just by standing on both feet, slowly bringing all of your weight onto your right foot. Bring your shoulders down and back and engage your core. Give me some strength. Bring your right foot off the ground, and we're simply going to hold. One key to balance, if this is a struggle for you, have something nearby that you can hold on to. You could use a wall. You could use a countertop. You could use the back of a chair as long as it's not going to go anywhere. And also, keep your gaze on something that's not moving. So if you're looking at me as I'm moving, you're going to have more challenge than if your eyes are pointed toward a fixed focal point somewhere on the floor. All right, that's it. We hit 30 seconds. Let's go ahead and switch to the other foot. All of your weight comes onto that left leg. Lift the right leg up off the floor, shoulders down and back. Now use your breathing to calm your mind and calm your muscles. Make sure you can feel your big toe, your pinky toe, and your heel all touching the floor. I'm going to show you a couple of progressions after we get done with this 30 seconds. Okay, go ahead and lower. Progression number 1, if that was too easy for you, would be to increase the time. So go ahead and do a whole minute when you're doing this exercise at home without me. This time through, we're just doing it the once for 30 seconds. Another option would be hold that foot up, but add some movement. Move your arms. Okay? If moving them this way is easy, you could add rotation. All right. So that gives you a little bit of material to work through as you set those goals and as you progress your exercise program. Okay. Now we're going to do a hinge and a row. A hinge, we're just simply taking a bow. So you're going to bend from your hips, keeping your back straight, arms down toward the ground. You're going to drive your elbows up to the ceiling. Now I want you to squeeze between your shoulder blades like you're trying to catch a $100 bill. And then lower. And then stand back up. So it's hinge, row, hands down, and stand. Hinge, row and squeeze, hands down, and stand. Now, progression on this one is quite simple. You could just pick up a couple of cans of food or a couple of water bottles to add a little weight. You could actually hold a long exercise band with your hands so that as you pull you have some resistance. Or you could grab a couple of dumbbells. But the basic movement is this hinge forward, keeping your back flat, elbows coming to the ceiling, squeezing and actively engaging the muscles between your shoulder blades, and then coming back up again. All right. So that's a hinge and a row. Our final exercise, standing, is going to also be a little bit of a stretch for your shoulders. I want you to stand with your feet roughly 8 inches, 6 to 8 inches away from the wall, and then go ahead and lean on the wall. Bring your arms up so that you look like a goal post. Keep the back of your head situated on the wall. Now for some of you, this may be the stretch. Oftentimes I find that people can't bring their hands all the way, their forearms all the way to the wall. So the stretch for you would just be to try to keep those abs engaged, keep your hips on the wall, keep the back of your head on the wall and your chin tucked, and to bring the forearms toward the wall. You should feel some heat and some energy coming through the muscles in between your shoulder blades. Now what we're going to do today is we're going to hold this position, and then we're going to slide the hands up the wall and down. So this may be difficult for some of you. if you've got some tightness in your chest, or if you've got some tightness in your lats. But this is what you're going to work toward, having this mobility. All right, let's go 3 more. Fantastic. And 2. And 1. All right, great work. Go ahead and step away from the wall. Next little section of our program today is going to be seated. So I'm going to bring my bench out over to the mat. We're going to start with a little bit of a stretch. So just sit down. You can have your hands in your lap. I want you to nod. Yes. Bring your chin to your chest and then look at the ceiling. Chin to the chest, stretching the back of the neck, and then look to the ceiling. Fantastic. Bring your eyes back to center. Now we're going to look over your left shoulder and over your right shoulder. One more time each way. Gentle stretch for the neck. And the other side. Bring your eyes back to me. Now take your right ear to your right shoulder and your left ear to your left shoulder. That should just feel good. Nice little stretch. Loosen up the neck. Okay. From here, we're going to work our shoulders a little bit. Extend your arms out to the side. Let's circle forward for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, reverse, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, reverse, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring those hands up behind your head. Sit up nice and tall. Keeping that length as if there's a string pulling you up to the ceiling. Keep that length in your spine. Let's bring our elbow toward the side of the bench and then draw it back up to center. Bring it toward the side of the bench and then draw it back up to center. So you should feel not only a stretch, but also some work happening on the muscles that go up and down the side of your bodies. So we'll do this for 10 times on each side. How are you feeling? You doing good? Fantastic. So if at any point during our video you start to feel too tired, you start to feel like you need a break, please just press the pause button, go take that break, and then come back and join us. Again, remember, be honest with yourself. This might feel like a little bit of work to you, but you can do it. But if you do need that break, please feel free to take it. All right, great job. Go ahead and lower the arms. Moving on, we're going to go ahead and do a sit to stand. So why would it be important to be able to stand up out of a chair? For 1,000 reasons, right? Number one is it keeps your independence. As long as you can get yourself up and down out of a chair, up and down out of a car, up and down out of bed, you're good to go. So let's try to strengthen those legs. I want you to lean forward, reaching your head, neck, and shoulders so that you can see the front of your shoes. So nose over toes. I want you to try to stand without the assistance of your arms. So try to keep your arms forward and slowly just bring the energy to the front. Okay, we're shooting for 10. Nice work. So after we're done with 10 of these, I'm just going to show you a modification. So I will show you the next progression, which would be a squat without using the chair as a target. All right, let's just go 3 more. Last 2. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You got this. Final one. And sit. Okay, as promised, a squat is the same exact motion. We're going to sit your bottom back as if you've got a chair behind you. Those arms come forward and then back to start. So if sitting and standing from the chair is not enough of a challenge for you, you can take it to an air squat when you repeat this program. Again, as always, you can progress these exercises by picking up some dumbbells. Okay, let's do a little bit more work for those thighs, shall we? Sitting tall, resting your hands beside you. I just want you to kick one foot up and lower. Just kick and lower. You should feel the quads tightening as you kick. So we're getting a little bit more thigh work, a little bit more for those quadriceps that are going to help you to stay stable around your knees and give you that strength that you need to maintain your mobility and independence. All right, let's go 2 more. And again, beautiful. All right, 10 reps on the other side. And 9. You got 8. Nice work. 7. 6. And last 5. We're going to do these, and then we got a quick stretch. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, stretch for your hips. We're going to cross our legs just like a guy. Okay? For some of you, this may be too intense. In order to make it a little bit less intense, you would just walk the foot that's staying on the ground a little bit more forward. Bring that knee up. That might be the stretch right there. Or if you want a little bit more, you just hinge your body to the front. Okay, and release. Bring it up to the other side, hinge forward, and release. Great. Okay, we're going to finish with just a few minutes on the floor. I'm going to set my bench aside and come down for some abdominal work. I just want you to think about firming up that belly, tightening up as if you're getting ready for a sucker punch. Lift one knee up to 90 degrees, now lift the other. Lower that first leg down, and then the second. So it's march, march, and lower, and lower. It's up, and lower, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if this feels too easy, it's very easy to modify. Just take the bend out of the knee, and it gets hard pretty quick. So bring that workload to the amount of work that works for your body, that's appropriate for your body. And last one, up, and lower, and lower. Final exercise is a hamstring bridge. Bring your heels so that they're close to your rear end, about to where your fingertips can touch. Let's lift and squeeze, and lower. We've got 9, and 8, 7, 6, nice work. As you reach up, I want you to think about really squeezing your buns. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And go ahead and lower. Let's go ahead and draw both knees in, give you a little stretch. You can rock a little bit on your back. Give them a nice big hug. Tell your body you appreciate all the work it's done today. Come up, give those knees a little kiss if your body will allow. And release. Drop both knees to the side and slowly come up. You did it. You really achieved a lot today. Thanks so much for joining me. Just remember, be honest with yourself, set your goals, be accountable, and above all, find that purpose, find that reason that you're going to stick to your exercise program.
I think this is very helpful. Like, keep track on paper how much you could do. Don't feel bad if you couldn't do a particular exercise or you couldn't do any of it, or maybe you could just do 1 repetition. Mark that down. I mean, give yourself a lot of credit for showing up today and starting this process, because next week you might be able to do 2, and the next week 3, and then pretty soon it's going to make a huge difference in your endurance and your strength. So I think that's what I'm hearing, right, about setting goals and being accountable.
Exactly.
Yeah, do what you can. And I noticed that you gave a lot of modifications, which was great. So, you know, you can always take it down a notch or up a notch. And I think that that's really helpful for people to know too.
Good. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of questions about how do I know what's enough, what's too much, or how do I stay on track? How do I maintain a program if I tire easily? And I really think all of those questions kind of come back to the point that I was trying to make, which is you need to start where you are today. So recognize what your body is able to accomplish today, and um, get a calendar, write that down, and then as you progress, tomorrow maybe try to do the same thing, see how many you can do. But pay attention also on there, keep track of how your body felt. So not just the number that you did, but this felt kind of easy today. And then once you get up to doing about 10 repetitions, then it's time to kind of move on. So adjust the program, but make sure you start with what's what should feel pretty easy today, but just with that goal of trying to either increase your repetitions or add some resistance as you go forward. Another question we had was about how do I know whether I'm having muscle soreness from the workout versus fatigue? And that's a little tougher to answer, but I would say that it is very normal to have muscle soreness. It almost feels like a bruise in your muscle up to 1 or 2 days after doing an exercise. So that's normal. That's part. I mean, I feel that. Julie feel. That's a normal part of exercise and being a little bit more tired. So again, keeping track and kind of seeing whether maybe that subsides over time as you get more conditioned, that'll help you to know whether you've set your goals appropriately.
Yeah, and one thing I would add to that, I had a question about a similar question. If you're weak the day after, I'm not talking about muscle soreness, but actually power loss, you did too much. Okay, so you need to take it down a notch. There was a lot of questions about, well, how do I know before I get to that point, which is kind of hard. I mean, I let Julie answer this, but I think just start by doing what you know is going to be okay, because there's plenty of time to add repetitions or make the exercise more difficult. We're in this for the long haul. So,
right.
Yeah.
You're building your body, you're building your stamina for the future. So we don't need to accomplish that in one day. And in fact, you will not accomplish it in one day. And regardless of what that goal, that big goal is, it just takes some time. It'll take some time. So give yourself a long lead.
Yeah, because I had another issue with that. Yeah, because the mistakes that I see is either people overdo it and then they're never going to exercise again because they feel so terrible, or they just don't even try, because it's too scary, or it's hard. This is not easy, and it's particularly hard because you have myasthenia. So, but I think the rewards in the long run are going to, make it more than worth your while to stick with this. Yeah.
Exactly. Should we move on to some other questions?
Yeah, sure.
So there were several questions about age. There was one question, an 85-year-old person asked if they could still strengthen their back. Another at 74 asked whether it made sense to do stretching, and another asked if age affects the difficulty of exercise. And I would say that absolutely. I think we all feel that as we age, just life gets harder, everything gets harder. There's no denying that. But is there time to improve? Absolutely. The answer to that is yes as well. Again, it comes back to that same procedure of starting with something that's well within what you can do, regardless of your age. So at 85, if you feel that your back isn't giving you the support that you need, then start maybe with the exercise that I did on the floor, where you've got good support. You can start working on getting your core strengthened. So start in a safe position and start at a very low level of intensity. But regardless of age, you should be able to see some progress. So that would be my answers on age. Julie, you want to answer one?
Sure, I have a couple. One is, will exercise increase my strength and muscle mass? And the answer is, even though I have myasthenia, the answer is absolutely yes. Of course, it depends on the severity of your condition. But again, slow and gradual, and I think you'll make progress. The other thing is, will exercise increase my energy levels? And this is a huge point, because a lot of times you get treated for myasthenia, you get better, you get stable, your strength is better, but the fatigue, it lingers and just doesn't improve. So at that point, your doctor looks for other causes. One of the big causes of that is being sedentary, and deconditioning leads to fatigue. So getting moving again will increase your energy levels, so super important, because fatigue is a huge issue chronically in myasthenia.
Good point. I had a few people ask about specific sports, a runner and weightlifter, someone who's interested in golf, another person asking if Tai Chi was a good idea. And I would say it's really important to have a long-term goal in mind. So if there's something that you love to do, some sport that you enjoy or that you used to enjoy, that's kind of been put on the back burner because of this, I would highly recommend that you work toward that goal. It's really helpful, I think, to emotionally to have that kind of out there and to have something to be working toward. I would say start doing the motions that are specific to that sport. So if you want to golf, then start by practicing, see how that swing feels in your house, and then maybe take it to the range, try a few, on the range. I wouldn't start with walking 18 holes right away and carrying your bag. So that progression, same with running, same with lifting. If those are things you used to be able to do, then don't go out today and run a 10-mile run, but maybe go out and run a block, walk a block, and record how you feel, progression slowly. Tai Chi, yoga, anything that can help you feel better. Stretching, maybe talk to the instructor beforehand, tell them you're going to stay for maybe 10 minutes, that you're just trying it out. And then add, if that works, do that for several weeks, and then maybe go for 15 minutes. So I'd say don't cross anything emphatically off the list until you've tried to progress back to the sport or activity that you love.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I have some specific questions too. Do you have any exercise for ptosis? That's the drooping eyelid that we see in myasthenia. And really, there's no specific exercises that help ptosis in MG. It generally improves as the condition improves for the majority of individuals. I did get one, is HIIT training good for myasthenia patients? That's high intensity interval training. Again, if that's an advanced high energy exercise, I can let Julie talk more about this. It's not that it's bad for MG, but it wouldn't be what, we would suggest starting with. But if you're able to work gradually up to that, I mean, it's a great exercise. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the definition of high intensity interval training is that you take your body up to a 10 out of 10 and then you back off. So probably not where we would want to go. I'd say try to stick to kind of a perceived rate of exertion of less than 6 on a scale of 1 to 10. So, if you can work up to the point where that doesn't seem challenging to you, yeah, maybe you're able to go there, but I wouldn't start there for sure.
I have a question. Do you recommend aquatic therapy because of the warmer temperatures? Actually, on a scientific level, myasthenia should do better with cooler temperatures because of the neuromuscular transmission is stronger. So, but really it depends on how you feel. And if you think that helps you, it's fine. And also I have, is it dangerous to over-exercise? So we're gonna just keep reiterating the same point, I think. If you're in an exacerbation, it's not a good idea to exercise. If you're stable, then it's a good idea to gradually introduce exercise and use your common sense and be safe about it. But we're not saying to go out and overdo it. It's gradual.
Right. There were a couple of questions, specifically one on arthritis, somebody who has also arthritis in their knees. One thing that you can do specifically for arthritis is to decrease the range of motion. So that sit to stand exercise, that squat, just stand, but only come down a little bit. So you decrease the range of motion in the affected joint. But you do, with arthritis, want to continue to keep that muscles around that joint and strong and flexible. So as you can tolerate, go ahead and try to do as much as you can. And then on osteoporosis, somebody mentioned that they had osteoporosis. There's a lot of safe positions that you can be in if you have that. And the exercises that I showed you laying down would be a really good place to start for those. But weight bearing eventually does help to slow the pace of osteoporosis. So again, exercise is good for so many things. would encourage it.
I think those are most of the questions I have. Do you have any other questions or that you want to answer?
Any advice on committing to exercise every day? I'd say that, yeah, I mean, write on your calendar, start with whatever you feel like is a good number. And then I want you, really physically checking them off or putting a smiley face sticker or something on there. That feedback, believe it or not, that feedback of physically checking something off a list is very rewarding. Having that goal where you've worked up to it, that's going to help you to get to a point where you can exercise more often. The third thing that's really super helpful with committing to exercise on a more regular or even daily basis is having a support network. So I think the Facebook page that we are going to get up and running should be a good place for that. I hope that as you went through this, you thought of some things that you were proud of. So share those on that page, share them with your, with your friends and family, and getting that, sharing that positive experience, getting that positive feedback back is something, having a network of people that are supportive. Those are things that really help you to stick with the exercise, to get it to the point where you can achieve exercise on a daily basis.
Yeah, I think all of these points are great. To make it practical, to set a goal, everything that you're saying about keeping track, I think is really great. It was so good having you, and I appreciate all your wisdom. Julie, thank you so much. I think a lot of people are going to benefit from you giving this talk, so thanks again. And hopefully we got to everybody's questions. Again, I think if we didn't, we'll post them in another format and try to answer them. Look for our Facebook page for community support to starting your exercise program. I'm really excited about that. So hopefully you can stay engaged. We got a lot of feedback, so much actually, on the exercise webinar that we're splitting this in 2 parts. And we're going to have yoga studio owner Jill Crockett come next time to talk about yogic breathing, because there were several questions. People wanted to know how to strengthen their respiratory muscles and their diaphragm. So she's going to talk to us about that. Before you think, oh, breathing, that's so boring. It's actually a profound practice that's ancient. She can talk to you more about that. It can transform your life. It's not just breathing exercises. It's for all your health and to reduce stress levels. And we know how important that is in myasthenia. We all need to work on our stress levels. So thanks so much for coming. And thank you again to Julie H., our expert.
Thanks
And
for having
On behalf of Conquer MG, Julie Rowan was wonderful about explaining what a fantastic reference and resource JHossack is. And I'm going to add my thanks to Julie Rowan, who's a phenomenal resource for us as well, with her understanding of how we deal with myasthenia, but also how we can work ourselves and own our health, as the phrase goes, to improve our own health. You've been inspiring and a phenomenal resource, both of you. Thank you very much.